Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Martin Luther King Jr. celebration. Amen. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm the preacher, so y'all might hear me. It's it's an occupational hazard. I apologize. Amen. No. I am Reverend Tanae Rowland, the manager of chaplaincy services here at Akron Children's Hospital, and I've been tasked and blessed and honored to bring the blessing this morning. Would you all please join me? As we gather to commemorate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., we express gratitude for the indelible impression he made on the world. Help us forge ahead by keeping the spirit of Dr. King alive, the spirit to exude a love for all humanity, the spirit of a change agent to combat systemic racism, the spirit of the bulwark that shields against injustice, and the spirit of a servant that provides and cares for those who can't do it for themselves. Use us individually and collectively until a lasting change comes. We thank you for these things being so. Amen. Amen. Would you all now please join us and stand as we raise our voices together and lift every voice and sing? This song reminds us of the strength found in community and the enduring hope that guides us forward, especially as we honor the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Lift every voice and sing. Thank you all. You all may be seated. Thank you for those who know all of the lyrics, all of the stanzas. Now we have Chris Gessner.
It's perfectly okay with me if we just want to continue on with the second verse. That sounded so nice. Thank you for joining us today. For those of you who may not know me, I'm Chris Gessner. I'm the president here and CEO at Akron Children's Hospital. We're here to honor the life and legacy of the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King and the enduring transformative power of his vision. I'd like to have a special recognition. Thank you for the students of North High School are here. Their teacher Ben's here too. Where's Ben? Thank you, Ben, for being here. They interact with us throughout the year, and we hope they all become Akron Children's employees someday. But I just want to thank them because I know they're off today. And when I was in high school and I had an off day, I'm not sure I would go to the local hospital for a celebration. So thank you very much for coming. Martin Luther King Jr. Day became a federal holiday in 1983. He's the only non-president to have a national holiday dedicated in his honor. This is our third year of hosting this celebration, and we've had just a really positive response from our hospital community and the Akron community. It's really becoming an Akron children's tradition. I'd like to thank our Unity Engagement Team Department, Burnett Williams, Kristen Hafford, and Dr. Ross, and all the others who made this event so special. This is a day to not only honor Dr. King's legacy, but also to reflect on his leadership, his message, and his vision, so we can continue to shape our communities and our day-to-day work here at Akron Children's. I personally have great admiration for Dr. King. Two things really stand out for me. One is his courage to confront injustice in a nonviolent manner. Dr. King relentlessly but peacefully pursued what was right and just, and ultimately lost his life in the process. Number two, I admire his vision of building an inclusive community that he often referred to as the great community, where people treat others with dignity and respect. You know, as a children's hospital, I think we have the opportunity to see the world through a pediatric lens and hear Dr. King's message through that same lens. He often spoke about inequality and injustice and disparities in healthcare. And we know from our experience that some of those inequities and disparities still exist today. We have a lot of work to do. And it's essential that we try to understand those disparities and address them. At Akron Children's, we believe that a child's health should never be determined by their zip code, the color of their skin, their family's income, or their faith. Dr. King famously said, "Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others?" I believe at Akron Children's, our staff try to answer that question each and every day by living our vision, our mission, and our three promises. Providing world-class care to our patients, we're helping to ensure more kids can realize their potential and their own dreams. Now I'd like to ask Burnett Williams to come up and share a reflection. Burnett.
Thanks, Chris. Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. It is my honor to welcome you to our third annual Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. celebratory event. This year, under the theme, Mission Possible 2, Building Community, Uniting a Nation the Nonviolent Way, we gather not only to honor the enduring legacy of Dr. King, but also to reaffirm our shared commitment to building a more just, inclusive, and unified community. To all of our employees, allies, and friends, thank you for being here today. Let us begin this commemoration with gratitude for the opportunity to gather in reflection, hope, and unity. Before I proceed further, I want to let our Akron Children's team members know that today's program is being recorded, so our team members who are off-site at our satellite locations, as well as our team members in Mahoning Valley, will have the opportunity to experience today's event. If you pre-registered, you will receive a link in the next 48 hours to view and share. The link will be posted in Short Sheet on Monday, next Monday. Dr. King's vision was both bold and simple. A nation united, not by sameness, but by our shared humanity and our unwavering belief in the power of love and nonviolence. But as neighbors, we must continue to work together for justice and equality. Today, as in years past, we reflect on his legacy and recommit ourselves to the work of making his dream a reality for all. We find ourselves in a time marked by division and uncertainty. The current political climate can feel challenging, sometimes discouraging. Yet, it is precisely in these moments that Dr. King's call for unity and peaceful action rings most true. He taught us that real change is born not from violence or discord, but from the courage to stand together even when it seems difficult. Today, let us answer that call choosing unity over division, understanding over suspicion, and hope over fear. Dr. King is known for saying, of all forms of inequality, injustice in health is the most shocking and inhumane because it results in physical death. He spoke these words at a 1966 press conference, highlighting that disparities in medical care, particularly for Black communities, were a profound moral failing. This failing led and leads to preventable suffering and the loss of life. Dr. King saw a direct connection to health equity and basic civil rights. This quote powerfully resonates with the mission and values of our Akron Children's Hospital. Our commitment to providing compassionate, family-centered care to every child, regardless of background, circumstance, or ability to pay, mirrors Dr. King's call for justice and equity in healthcare. By working to eliminate health disparities and championing inclusion through our employee resource groups and organizational culture, we strive to ensure that all children and families have access to the highest quality care. Dr. King's words remind us that our mission is not just a professional obligation, but a moral imperative. This imperative to stand against injustice in all of its forms, especially those that impact the well-being and lives of our community's most vulnerable. One way our organization's commitment to inclusion is brought to life every day is through our employee resource groups. These groups are more than names. They are communities for support, advocacy, and action that enrich us all. The Veterans and Allies group honors those who have served and creates a space for shared experiences and growth. Black Professionals and Allies uplifts voices, fosters mentorship, and drives equity. All Abilities and Allies works to ensure accessibility and champion the strengths of every individual. Pride and Allies stands as a beacon of acceptance and empowerment for our LGBTQ colleagues. Unidos and Allies celebrates our Latinx and Hispanic communities, fostering cultural understanding and unity. Each group is a pillar in our house of inclusion, and together they make us stronger. We are fortunate to have leadership that not only supports, but actively advances our mission of inclusion. CEO Chris Gessner has made it a priority to foster a culture where every voice is heard and every person feels a sense of belonging. This commitment is central to our vision of being a healthcare employer of choice, known for respect, empathy, and opportunity for all. As we honor Dr. King's legacy, let us reaffirm our dedication to creating a fully inclusive work environment. Our journey is ongoing, and each of us plays a vital role. By embracing our differences, we enrich our organization and set an example for our industry and our communities. Together, we can demonstrate that inclusion is not just an ideal, it is our daily practice, our mission, and is core to our 3 promises. Treat every child as if they were our own. Treat others the way they would like to be treated. And never turn a child away. In preparation for today's celebration, I couldn't help but reflect on wisdom from the past. What might some other civil rights leaders say, think, or advise if they were here today? Rosa Parks, whose quiet determination sparked the Montgomery bus boycott, might reflect on the power of individual action in the face of systemic adversity. She would encourage us to find moments, however small, to resist injustice and support one another in pursuit of equality. John Lewis, the conscience of Congress, he would surely challenge us to get into good trouble, for the sake of righteousness. He would see today's protests, calls for reform, and civic engagement as the lifeblood of democracy, urging us to never be content with the status quo, but to push forward with the same perseverance he embodied throughout his life. Cesar Chavez would remind us of the dignity of labor and ongoing struggles of workers for fair treatment. Thurgood Marshall would emphasize the power of law and the courts in shaping a more equitable society. If Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. were with us today, I imagine he would likely see echoes of the struggles he faced: division, injustice, and the need for unity persisting in our current political and social climate. He might remind us that progress is never linear and that setbacks are an inevitable part of a movement toward justice. He would challenge us to confront hate with courage and compassion and never lose sight of the dream of a more just and inclusive society. I often say, there's nothing new under the sun. The challenges we face, racism, inequality, division, are not unique to our era. They are the echoes of past battles, reminders that history cycles through periods of struggle and renewal. When the world feels heavy with uncertainty, we must draw from those who came before us. Their stories teach us that meaningful change is possible, not because the path is easy, but because resilience, unity, and hope endure. We remain encouraged by remembering that every generation has faced its own trials, and every generation has answered with acts of courage and solidarity. When we listen to diverse voices, support one another, and cherish our shared humanity, we become a part of something greater, a movement that stretches across time. Let us look to Dr. King and other trailblazers as beacons lighting our way forward. Thank you for joining us today. Let us go forward together, knowing that what may seem impossible can become possible when we're united in purpose and heart. Thank you. Next, I'd like to introduce Courtney Trice to bring a musical selection. Courtney is an Akron native, born and raised. Her love for music began at 6 years old. She has been singing professionally for more than 30 years and is a dynamic singer, songwriter, spoken word artist, and actress. Courtney comes from a powerful musical lineage. Her uncle is the legendary Sam Moore of Sam and Dave, and she had the honor of accompanying him at Carnegie Hall during the tribute to Aretha Franklin. Her musical journey also includes auditioning for The Voice. Beyond stage, Courtney is a devoted mother of 4, a proud grandmother of 2, and a preschool teacher. She pours the same passion she brings to her artistry into nurturing the next generation. Courtney.
I was in the darkness. I was out in the cold. Seeing nothing could heal this hole in my soul. You reached out your arms to me, held out your heart to me, pulled me back from the end. Thought I reached the end when I was drowning, when I was so confused. pulled me through. I was in the shadows, lost, nothing left to lose. You pulled me through, gave me my faith back. Faith was so hard to find. Gave me my life back. You were my lifeline. Gift that you gave me was love that has saved me. You pulled me back from the end. Thought I reached the end. 'Cause when I was drowning, when I was so confused, you pulled me through. I was in the shadows, lost, nothing left to lose. You pulled me through, out of the dark, into the light, into your arms. Your love saved my life. When I was so confused, you pulled me through. I was in the shadows. I was so confused. You pulled me through. You pulled me through. You pulled me through.
Simply beautiful, Courtney. Thank you. Thank you so much. I'll have to share this. I heard Courtney sing at a wedding, and I contacted the bride and said, whose voice was that? And so thank you, Courtney, so much for honoring us with your gift today. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our keynote presenter, Ronald J. Fowler, also known as Pastor Ronnie. Ronald Fowler II brings years of corporate and technical experience into his service as executive pastor of the Arlington Church of God. In his role since 2013, Ron, I gotta used to saying that, oversees all aspects of operations for the church, including staff, finances, 3 schools on the church campus, and he also oversees facility care, upgrades, and rentals. A graduate of Akron Public Schools, Ronnie completed his Bachelor of Arts in Business Management at Walsh University. Sensing a divine call on his life, he began theological studies at Ashland University and completed his studies at Anderson University School of Theology, where he earned a Master of Arts in Christian Studies. Born into a family of pastors, Ron served closely as his father, Reverend Ronald J. Fowler, succeeded his grandfather, Reverend Robert L. Fowler, to become senior pastor of Robert Street Church of God, now known as the Arlington Church of God. Ron is involved and serves on numerous community organizations. He's a graduate of Leadership Akron Signature Class 34. He serves on the board of Urban Vision. He's a state board member for the Church of God, Ohio, and Ron is a member of Kappa Alpha Psi fraternity, among various other service organizations. His passion is finding ways to utilize technology and ministry to strengthen and encourage faith, hope, and service. Pastor Ron Fowler.
Well, good afternoon. It's so good to be here with you all on this cold and snowy day, and I'm so glad that so many of you were able to come out for this occasion. I'd like to begin by giving my thanks to Chris Gessner and Burnett Williams for allowing me to be at this event and share this time with you as well. I stand before you, yes, as the executive pastor of the Arlington Church of God, but also as a fan of the great work that you all do here. I've had the pleasure of hosting the car seat distribution, the Safety Mobility Project, and just watching the way in which you administer care to the people in the community is second to none. So I'm a fan of Akron Children's Hospital. But I'm also a proud father of one of your employees, as my daughter Brooke works in the Neurodevelopment Science Center, and she's on her post now. She sent me a text message and said, "Be brief and sit down." So I'm going to follow her instruction. But I would also be remiss if I did not say thank you to Kristen Hafford for all of the logistics and planning that went behind it and all the many emails that I sent her back, and she just responded with such joy and happiness as well. I'm also grateful because I have so much family here today, family and friends. I see friends that I was in Leadership Akron with. I see my family sitting right down front, the senior pastor of the Arlington Church of God, Pastor Charles Marks, and his wife Sherry, and cousins and the like. So I'm just glad to see all the home folk in the midst of everybody. But let me not delay the occasion. Today we are here to celebrate the life, the living, and the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., as well as his dream. But if I'm honest, a celebration that does not have any transformation just looks good. You know, it's just decoration. Because if we can celebrate Dr. King's life, and if we can celebrate his dream, and our attitudes and our actions and the systems remain the same, then our celebration looks good, but it doesn't move anything forward. As it is with any event that prompts reflection, it naturally leads us to some questions on today. And the question isn't, who was Dr. King? The question isn't, what was his dream? But the real question lying behind today is, are we willing to live this dream every day? Before Dr. King ever spoke before thousands of people, before his voice ever echoed across the National Mall, there was a young Baptist preacher, guided by faith, living and carrying this dream in the quiet moments alone, moments of threat, moments of exhaustion, moments where fear felt close and comfort was a little distance. And yet he kept on moving forward towards that dream, towards justice, towards unity, towards a world shaped by love and dignity. There alone is a lesson, because Dr. King's dream did not take shape in the spotlight, didn't take shape on the Lincoln Memorial. It was shaped not by applause and recognition, but it took shape in the everyday choices that he made, even when he was discouraged, tired, and afraid. There's a truth that we sometimes forget about our choices, that we are all connected, and the choices that we make don't just shape our very own lives. Our choices shape our communities. That's why it takes teamwork. And I'm sure you've heard the old saying, teamwork makes the dream work. Dr. King showed us why this actually mattered. The dream was never meant to be carried alone. It was never meant to be carried by one person or one group of people. He never marched alone. He didn't boycott alone. He did not organize alone. Every major civil rights movement was the result of a people coming together. A dream is only achievable when communities link their arms together, when differences become our strength, when unity becomes something that we practice, not just something that we talk about. So today, yes, we honor Dr. King, not by remembering the single man, but by recommitting ourselves. Say recommitting. Recommitting ourselves to dream together. In the ways that we speak, recommitting ourselves to live the dream together, in the ways that we lead, in the ways that we support one another, in the ways that we challenge injustice and show love, especially when it's inconvenient. Understand that living the dream is not just an event. It is that daily discipline, the discipline to create inclusion, to pursue equity, to do justice, the discipline to change the world first by changing how we show up for one another. That, my friends, is the mission. And the mission is possible. But missions aren't achieved by intentions alone. You can ask any leader, you can ask any athlete, any coach, any Browns fan, you can ask them. Simply wanting a victory will not produce it. It's in the consistent, disciplined decisions that are made long before you see anything on the scoreboard that shapes the outcomes. Dr. King left us almost 58 years ago, and he called us to believe in the dream. But more than calling us to it, he showed us how to live it. And today I'm just going to share 3 quick daily commitments that I believe can move us from intention to action. The first is alignment. Alignment. And what I mean by that is living what we say we believe. You know, from the very start of the civil rights movement, progress was never an accidental thing. It came from repeated, daily, disciplined choices, choosing value over convenience, courage over comfort. Ordinary people who were committed to daily disciplines. Ordinary people, they walked during the Montgomery boycott. They walked sometimes 12 to 20 miles a day. That's the equivalent of walking from here to Kent State daily. Sat in lunch counters where they weren't welcomed. Marched where safety wasn't guaranteed. But they aligned their actions with their deepest values, even when it cost them dearly. They aligned their actions with the world that they believed was possible. They aligned their courage with one another. Dr. King lived the same thing. He didn't just preach love, he practiced it. He didn't just call for unity, he embodied it. He did not just talk about justice, he walked towards it, even when it landed him in jail cells, gave him threats, feelings of uncertainty. Alignment is powerful, but it's only powerful when the source is connected to and rooted to integrity and care for others, not convenience or self-interest. We see too much of that today, the wrong alignment out there. That's why it's incumbent upon us to align to the right guiding source. Oh, I could preach about that. He aligned his values with his actions, and he did so consistently that his actual life became the message itself that spoke even louder than his speeches and his words. His life spoke. That's why we're celebrating his life today. He had a life that was rooted in truth, love for his neighbor, mercy, and a commitment to do justice. And this morning, I ask each and every one of you, what is your life's message? Living the dream daily requires alignment, moment by moment, day by day, decision by decision. It makes me recall a story of a young boy in the 1940s, a young black boy. And he was in Bedford, Ohio, and he fell into a segregated swimming hole. Whites and blacks could not swim in the hole at the same time, the pool. And off to the side were a group of young white persons, and a young white girl saw this boy drowning and jumped in to save him. That young boy later went on to say that he would dedicate his life to helping people of all races, of all ethnicities, of all means, of all kinds. And he did so. That young boy was my father. And he went on to be one of the pioneers of Love Akron Network. That young girl whose last name was Miracle, right there, she lived what she believed, that all life is valuable, despite the cost, despite being talked about, despite maybe being punished, despite ridicule. She believed all life has value. And so she acted upon what she believed. Living what we say we believe. The spirit of alignment is what Dr. King modeled and what we are called to live. Alignment, it sounds good, doesn't it? Until it costs you something. Until it costs you acceptance, access, right? So when we're talking about living this dream daily, alignment begins to look like what? It begins to look like decisions that are made with fairness when it's inconvenient. Leadership that's done with compassion, even when speed feels better. Alignment begins to look like words with unity, even when disagreement is louder. Or aligning behavior with the belief that every voice has a value. While Dr. King did not use the actual word alignment, every step he took, every march he did, every choice of nonviolence embodied it and was a living example of it. Alignment turns what we believe into what we do. But believing alone isn't enough. The second is compassion. Seeing one another through the lens of shared humanity. If alignment is about matching values with action, then compassion is about how we see the people who do the work. For those who embedded in the struggle for justice, compassion was never just a feeling. It was their source. It was their survival. It was their strength. It's what moved the elders in Montgomery to open their homes up. It turned the churches into sanctuaries and refuge and held communities together when violence and retaliation threatened to break them apart. It showed up in sit-ins where the young people had to endure insults, endure food being thrown at them, endured abuse, all because they believed suffering might create a more humane world. Compassion walked through Birmingham and Selma with arms linked and steady steps. Fear present, tears mingled with hope as communities refused to abandon one another. But in every single one of these moments, compassion made the unity possible. And it was unity that made their progress unstoppable. And we see even in today that same kind of compassion. We see it in places like this, the Akron Children's Hospital. When you slow down when the schedule gets full, you speak gently when the news is hard. Treating families not just as cases, but as actual people who are carrying fear, hope, and love. Here, compassion isn't abstract. It's practiced moment by moment. Dr. King practiced this same courageous compassion, extending care to all persons, and he even did it to those who opposed him. That takes strength to those who oppose him. It was his belief that every person had inherent worth. That belief showed up in how he built his bridges, how he built bridges across race, how he built bridges across faith, across class. Every person has inherent worth. He understood that movements only grow when people feel seen, when people feel valued and protected. How do you feel when you feel seen, valued, and protected? He operated by a moral strength that was under control, a restraint. I say a holy restraint. It's a daily choice to honor humanity, even when humanity decided not to honor him back. Dr. King refused to surrender his soul to the struggle, understanding that the work of justice is not only about the fight, but it's about who you become while you fight. We're in a time where it feels like progress is rolling backwards faster than ever today. Feels like anger travels faster than understanding. Outrage gets more attention than empathy. Division is rewarded while compassion is misunderstood. And yet, we are called to view one another through a lens of shared humanity. While compassion may call us to honor humanity, it does not call us to ignore justice. Instead, it refuses to let injustice harden our hearts and turn us into something unrecognizable. That's what we're here to discuss today. This dream is not just words. It's not just a charge that's put out there and we forget about it. It was not something that was silenced when he was shot. It's not something that is for someone else to carry. This dream is for us to live and manifest and practice daily, day in, day out. Imagine what can happen. Imagine what happens to our neighborhoods and communities and the workplace when we choose understanding over winning. You don't always have to be right. Sometimes you just need to listen and understand. Recognize the hidden struggles in people. Look at them. Do you see them? Do you see them? When you advocate for fairness, when silence feels easier, speak up. When you treat every voice as worthy, even the quiet ones, what can happen? Our workplaces can become human again. Communities could start to become safer again. Conversations become possible that were not possible before. That is how we step into that same spirit that fueled this very movement. It's compassion that breaks down the walls. It's compassion that starts to build up trust. It can transform a stranger into a neighbor. It's compassion. Living the dream means that we don't harden our hearts. We widen them. So the practices are alignment, living what we say we believe. Compassion, seeing one another through the shared lens of humanity. And the third is collaboration, advancing the dream by linking arms. Collaboration is that buzzword of the century. Every institution uses it, right? But if compassion is how we see one another, then collaboration is how we move forward together. And since the beginning of the civil rights movement, progress has never been a byproduct of isolation. When change happened, it happened because people chose to stand shoulder to shoulder. They chose to link arms, even when the world was trying to push them apart. During the freedom rides of 1961, students, clergy, and activists from all different states and races and backgrounds, they traveled together. They did something that a lot of people don't like to do. They suffered together. And they refused to back down together. That's the power of collaboration turns individual courage into collective strength. How can our individual efforts, when woven together, create a tapestry of the beloved community that Dr. King dreamed of? Here in this hospital, I'm sure that you see collaboration at its highest. Doctors, nurses, administrators, volunteers, every day with families in different roles, one shared purpose: care, hope, healing. That's collaboration in motion. Collaboration. In his I Have a Dream speech, Dr. Martin Luther King did not cast a dream meant to be carried by one person or one people. He issued a charge to all of us, declaring that we must work together, pray together, struggle together, stand up for freedom together, stand up for justice together, stand up for inclusion and equity together. Dr. King understood that the dream of equality was too huge for an isolated effort, and it was too urgent for division. He knew the power of what happens when we linked arms. Why? Because when we stand together, what do we create? We create strength. When we move together, that helps the vision become active. Progress is not born from words spoken in solitude, but from a people willing to live the dream side by side, step by step, arm in arm. Living the dream daily, recognizing the meaningful changes that require shared responsibility. And how does that look? We start to invite diverse voices and truly listen to them. We start to work side by side with peoples whose experience looks so much different than yours, and their reality was so much different than yours. We start to share access. We don't hoard access. We open the doors and share access and opportunities, starting to bridge divides and show up for one another, choosing partnership over competition. Collaboration doesn't just add, it multiplies impact, turning that courage into strength, differences into unity. Because when history looks back on moments like this one right here, it won't measure us by headlines. It won't measure us by the heroes that we honor or celebrate. History is going to measure us on the habits we kept, by how we showed up for one another daily when nobody was looking. That is what is at the heart of this dream that Dr. King entrusted on us. When we let what we believe shape how we live, people can see value in action. When we choose compassion and we refuse to let anyone be pushed aside or left to carry the pain alone. And when we come together by linking arms beyond circles, equality becomes something that we live. Inclusion becomes something that we practice, and together our impact grows. We can start to become the beloved community, one nation under God that starts to see people as God sees us. That's how the dream stays alive, not in ceremonies, but in commitment. The hymn that we sang, it says, "Lift every voice and sing, till earth and heaven ring." And that dream has never belonged to just one voice, and has not been sustained by silence ever. The dream will only move forward through a people waiting to live the dream daily, together. That is the mission. And the mission is possible. But it's possible not because the journey is going to be easy. There's an old song that says, "No one told me the road would be easy." But I don't believe He brought us this far to leave us. The road won't be easy. Everything will not be in place. But because faithful people keep doing what is right even when it gets hard, then may our choices make Dr. King's dream more than a memory. May they make it visible in the message of our very lives. Amen? Amen.
Thank you so much, Pastor Ron. Thank you. Appreciate you so much. Now we're going to have Courtney come up and join us with another selection.
Let praises rise from the inside of me. May you delight on the inside of me. Come fill my life from the inside of me. Set me on fire from the inside of me. 'Cause all I want is for you to be lifted, you to be glorified. All I want is for you to be glorified, for you to be lifted high. Rise from the inside of me. May you delight from the inside of me. Come fill my life from the inside of me. Set me on fire from the inside of me. 'Cause all I want is for you to be glorified, you to be lifted high. All I want is for you to be glorified, you to be lifted high. All I want is for you to be glorified, you to be lifted high. All I want is for you to be glorified, you to be lifted high. It's for you, you to be glorified, you to be lifted high. All I want is for you, you to be glorified, you to be lifted high. All I want is for you, you to be glorified, you to be lifted high. All I want is for you to be glorified. All I want is you to be lifted. All I want is for you to be glorified, you to be lifted high. All I want is for you to be glorify your name. Fill my life till all they see is you, Lord. Glorify your name. Fill my life. It's for you to be glorified, you to be lifted high. All I want is for you to be glorified, you to be lifted high. Fill my life till all they see is you, Lord. Be glorified. Fill my life till all they see is you.
Simply beautiful. Thank you, Courtney. Thank you, Pastor Ronnie Fowler, again. I want to acknowledge the Unity and Engagement team under the leadership of Dr. Ross. I don't know if you guys are in the room. I'm going to ask you to stand, please, and just wave your hand. We have Dr. TJ, Dr. Ross, Christina Hodgkinson. Sandra is outside, and of course, everybody knows Kristen Hafford. Kristen was point on today. Great job, Kristen. Great job, great job. We do want to make sure everyone completes an evaluation before you leave. There should be a code that'll come up in just a little bit. It's really, really important that you give us your feedback. That helps us be better and know what works for you and how we can just continue to improve upon this event. So please take time to do that. Also asking everyone to take a box lunch on your way out and enjoy the rest of today, and thank you for being here with us today.